In this problem, we want to figure out how much carbon dioxide that we're going to produce if we burn 15.5 grams of acetylene, C2H2, according to the reaction that we already have written down here. So our plan is going to be, we'll go grams of C2H2 into moles C2H2, moles C2H2 into moles of CO2, and then lastly, moles of CO2 into grams of CO2. And so we will need the molar mass of C2H2 and the molar mass of CO2. Now, neither of these values are given to us in the problem, so let's go ahead and calculate both of them quickly here. Our molar mass of C2H2 will be our 2 atoms of carbon times the 12.01 grams per mole plus our 2 atoms of hydrogen times the 1.01 grams per mole. We'll put this through our calculator. This will give us a molar mass for the C2H2 of 26.04 grams per mole. Now, we need to figure out our molar mass for CO2. And so it'll be our 1 carbon atom times the mass of the carbon atom plus our 2 oxygen atoms times the mass of oxygen. So our molar mass of CO2 is going to be 43.99 grams per mole. So these are 2 guys that we'll need as we work through our problem. So let's start first here with step 1, our grams of C2H2 into moles of C2H2. So we're given 15.5 grams of C2H2, and we know that 1 mole of C2H2 has a mass of 26.04 grams. And so we put that into our calculator. And this gives us 0.59524 moles of C2H2. We don't want to round this guy off yet. Now we'll take our moles of C2H2 and convert it into moles of CO2. And for that, we'll use our balanced equation. The chemical that we want to get rid of is going to be our C2H2, and so we'll use its coefficient of 2. So 2 moles C2H2, and that'll go in our denominator because we want to get rid of it. And we want to find out how many moles of CO2 that we'll make. So our moles of CO2 from the equation will go in our numerator, so 4 moles of CO2. And so now we'll input this into the calculator. And we see that we should make 1.1905 moles of CO2. And now that finishes off step 2. So the last thing we have is to take care of step 3 to figure out our grams of CO2. And in order to do that, we'll use the molar mass of CO2 that we found earlier. So 1.1905 moles of CO2 And we want to get rid of the moles, so this time we'll have 43.99 grams in the numerator, and 1 mole will be in the denominator. And so we put this calculation into our calculator, and we're going to get out our final answer of 52.4 grams of carbon dioxide. That's how much CO2 that we'll make after we burn our acetylene.